The network is a big issue here. Can you still hear me, Mr. Henry? Is it clear? What of the visuals? Is it clean and clear? Can you see me clearly? And can you hear my voice very well? Yes, the network is a bit scarce. This is Nigeria. What of now? Can you still hear me? Be careful. What of now? Can you still hear me? Okay, so I can continue. I can move on. Bobo. If you want me to put the password. I know the password. Okay. Hello, Mr. Henry. How is it now? I want us to zoom in and start. I want us to start. I want to share my screen so that we can start. How is it right now? Okay, fine. So, like I said, this is a foundational class. For those who are coming into Sage 50 for the very first time, so this class suits them well. Okay, and I'm going to share some experiences. You know, sometimes we do this thing for the sake of getting a job. Wrong. Not gonna be use 30,000 for free here. I can more see here who that again maybe got in nobody again. Hospital network. Hello, can you hear me? Apushala. Zero participants. Can you hear me, please? My Henry Banda actually from Zambia, sir. Okay, I can continue now. Henry, can I continue? Can you hear me, please? Hmm. Okay, so what I was saying in this is that, so the essence of this training, it's not a master class, because a lot of it's not a master class, but it's a solid foundational training that will help you to run on this journey. And the way I have trained a lot of people, that's also the way I started this journey. It was a funny one, but along the line I started seeing that yes, I can build business around this skill set, and I'm happy how far the journey has been. Is I can't stand here and say I have made all the money in it. No, but it has really built a life. The only advice I will give you professionally is this: when I was starting up, there were experts, men and women who were very good, more than me. I knew that they were better than me, so I have to go back to them to learn. I have to go to them to learn. Now, what was I doing? When I get a job through people I know, I will give it to them. Sometimes you see that these people will take 90% of the money, 95% of the money. I never bothered, because my goal was to, so while they were working, I was learning. I have had some of my students on the WhatsApp group do the same thing. When they get a job, they call me in. So I'm now training them on the job. So they are doing two things. They are earning money. They are at the same time learning and standardizing their skill. Those things work. I've had students in Ghana, in Liberia, online. I have to fix their problem, but for a percentage fee, because they are my students. So by the time I was engaging these guys, I was growing. I was learning from them. When I get those hard jobs, I call them in. While they were doing the dirty job, I'm being trained on the job. Before you know it, I was good. I perfected. I no longer need them, but I still go to them today for advice for a lot of things. But when it comes to the job proper, I do my thing my way. So, what I'm going to show you today, let me tell you the simple truth. There are from my own research, there are over 25 jobs in Sage 50 alone. There are over 25 jobs. There are over 25 things you can do for organizations in Sage 50. Let me give you one of them. A lot of businesses cannot track their account receivable. Please, can you still hear me? Quick one, quick one, quick one. If you can hear me, please send us an emoji. Send us an emoji if you can hear me, please. Send us an emoji. If you can hear me, please, a quick one, send us an emoji. And please don't hesitate to tell us where you are joining us from. I know the Saturday is fast spent. A lot of us are tired. Please send me an emoji and don't hesitate to tell me where you are joining us from. That's good, Mr. Henry. So there are over 25 jobs in this software alone. I'm not talking about QuickBooks, Tally, and the rest. I'm concentrating on Sage 50. So it's all about you. It's all up to you. When you go around the society, a lot of businesses are passing through. I have had a student who attended my December training. Now she is using this software to do stock taking for organizations, which is also the same thing that I do. So your the essence of this training and also the master class is to help you discover these jobs. And then you build your skills around it. A lot of businesses cannot track debtors. That means that their account receivable workflow is poor. With this software, you are good to go. You can set it up, you can help them track their debtors, you can help them do the analysis, you can help them do the credit policies. Let the software will tell you which money is due to be paid. So these are the issues, and these are the things. So when you say money, you can make money from it. It can sustain you. A lot of things in it can sustain you. A lot of companies want to reconcile their bank statement. With this software, you are good to go. Now, without wasting much of your time, today I want us to achieve one unique thing: creating a company, setting up ledgers, creating a company, setting up ledgers, and preparing now. I'm going to share my screen. So here we are. Please, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. Now this is the business environment. Okay. So from here, we will dive in. So we are creating a company for the very first time. We are creating a company for the very first time, and the company name is Auto Prime Motors. Is Auto Prime Motors. Okay, so I'll start with create a new company. So now my goal here is the way I want to go with this training. While we move on, I'll keep telling you which accounting principles and concepts that gives you the authority to do what you are doing on the software. Now, if you click on create a new company, which is where we are moving from, you notice that this talks about the business entity. That means that the name of the company must be entered into the software. Okay, it talks about the type of business, which is also a business entity. So it's a corporate business. Okay, a lot of information has to be kept, different from the owner of the business. Now it talks about accounting method. Okay, that what is the accrual. The accounting method is either you are into cash-based transactions or accrual-based. Then it talks about the periodicity, which is the accounting period. Then it also talks about the fiscal year. So we click next. So name of the company, I like putting them in capital letter, Auto Prime Motors Limited. Now, what is critical is the company's name. Address and the rest are optional and secondary. But the most important thing is the company name. That's the most important thing, the company name. Okay, so let's go next. Now I want to build from the scratch because it says designed for accountants and advanced users only. What it simply means that everything that is coming into this application, you are the one building it by yourself. That's exactly what it means. Everything coming into this application is being done by me. That's the implication. So next, and that's the right way to go. So choose an accounting method. Bobo, choose an accounting method. So from the business, it is accrual, which means income are recorded whether paid or not. Income are recorded whether paid or not. So that is okay. So we leave it at accrual next. And I want the software to give me a report based on real time. So immediately I post, once I save any transaction, my reports, whether it's P&L, balance sheet, they are all updated immediately. So that's the essence. So I will leave it at real time. Why batch posting simply means you keep posting, we keep posting. Maybe by the time you want to exit from the system, everything goes in at the same time. But real time is more, is it's an updated process. So anything that happens immediately, it gives you the answer immediately. So we have the fiscal year. So we are running the 12 monthly accounting period, which constitutes our fiscal year of from which is from January to December. Okay, so January is the beginning month of our fiscal year, and our fiscal year is 2026. So click, you're ready to create your company, finish. Now, this stuff I'm doing is also on our YouTube channel. A lot, I've demonstrated this many times on that YouTube channel. So you can always go back to look at it. I've demonstrated it many times. So we allow you to boot, is booting to the home page where you can now start setting up your business. Please, can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? Mr. Banda, are you still there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? If you can hear me, please give an emoji or a text that can hear me or a comment. Please, can you hear me? Let me share my screen again. Can you see my screen? Today. Uh, Okay. Anything, what do you NT now? Let us see. Eh? Obo, if this it no problem, Maka. Ne carry the serious, I must say. Hello, Mr. Henry, can you see my screen? Okay, so let me quickly share my screen. Can you see? Let me share the. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you see the Sage 50 homepage? So I can see. So I'm going to get to say I'm going to say one place. Okay, so once you finish creating a company, it brings you to the screen you are looking at. It's called the home page. Now at the extreme top, you can see the name of the business and the software you are using. Then at the far right, you have the control buttons, the minimize, maximize, close. Then at your far left, you have the logo of the software. So that particular segment is known as the is known as the title bar. It's called the title bar. Now, directly under the title bar, you can see where you have the file, edit, maintain, and the rest. That is called the menu bar. So the menu bar contains all the command features that you can use to give instruction to the application. And the command features, they have their sub commands. Every command has a sub command. You can see the way it's dropping down. Every command has a sub command, and the actual work is done in the sub command. Then look at this gray rectangular bar. This is called the navigation bar. It is called the navigation bar. Okay, so the navigation bar contains some of the features you see in the menu bar, as well as some shortcuts. Then it's just a display of different departments of your business. It's a display of different departments of your business. You can see customer and sales department. It contains all the customer information as well as the sales and transaction information. The same thing applies to vendor, to inventory, the names of your stock, how you departmentalize them, the names of the service you render, how you've made money from them, and all the rest. So you have the employees, you have the banking and the rest. Then you have the shortcuts. The shortcuts are some of the things you see in the sub menu. Okay, there are some of the things you see in the sub menu. So let's assume in that in my organizations, there are places I frequent all the time. There are places I frequent all the time. So I use a lot of invoicing. I do a lot of invoicing. I do a lot of receipts. I pay bills. I do bank reconciliation. Now, I don't want to jump. I don't want to be jumping from one. I don't want to be jumping from one menu to another, looking for a particular feature or a particular tool. I can assemble them here as a shortcut so that it becomes easy for me to access them. So instead of crisscrossing from one menu to another, I can have them lined up here. So let me give you an example. So I'm going to click on these settings. I'm going to remove find transaction. I'm going to remove it and replace it with something else. So I'm going to add a new shortcut. Let me see where I can get reconciliation, banking. Yes, so I can bring in reconcile account. So I want it to be a shortcut to me. I can also add another one. Go to banking. Maybe if I'm creating chart of account, I want it to be close to me. So once you are done, you click OK. You notice you can see the two of them has dropped. You can also go back and arrange them in alphabetical order. So it's all up to you. But the most important thing is that what the shortcut does is to make sure that you have your tools by, you know, just before you. So you don't need to be jumping from one menu to another. You have your tools lined up here. Like now, let's assume in an organization, I'm a petty cash officer. All I need to drop here, I can remove every other thing. All I need to drop here is just the account register. So it makes, so I don't need to go to tax and drop down and look for it again. I can just come to the shortcut. Is there for me to make use of. So that is that. Now, like I said, once you finish, creating a company, the number one thing you must set up, is the chart of account. So once you finish creating a company, the number one thing you must set up, and which is primary and basic in majority of accounting software, is your ledger, your chart of account, your ledger or your chart of account. So that is the number one thing that must come on stream. You must set up your chart of account or your ledger. Please, once again, I want to be sure that we are moving as a unit. Can you still hear me, Mr. Henry? If you are hearing my voice, can you see my screen? Can you also hear me clearly? Excellent. So let's move. So, like I was saying, the number one thing, and I used to tell my students, accounting is useless without the chart of account. Without your ledgers, accounting is useless. And also without business, accounting is also useless, because everything you are doing here is a scenario coming from a business which accounting helps the business to project. And I have always defined accounting as the mirror through which every business sees itself. You can take your time to set up a mirror, but one important thing that mirror cannot deny you, the mirror will always reflect exactly who you are. So what accounting does is to reflect to us exactly who the business is. If the business is well structured, accounting will reflect it. If the business is run by corrupt people, accounting will reflect it. If the business is poorly managed, accounting will reflect it. So that's why I define it as the mirror through which every business sees itself. So what we want to achieve today is to set up that mirror. We are not going to look into that mirror not today. All we are doing is to set up our mirror. Then by tomorrow, when we start the posting, then we'll start looking into the mirror for the mirror to tell us exactly what we are doing, who we are, whether we are doing well or not. So, like I said, if you look at this is the case study. This is the case study. I'm going to put it on our YouTube page under posts so that at the end of this class, you can take your time and look at the and practice the case study as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, having said that, let's run. So, how do we create the chart of account or our company ledgers? You go to maintain. If you go to maintain, you select chart of account. And like I said, I have always defined maintain as the platform where we enter all non-financial data. I've always defined it as the platform through which we enter all non-financial data. The customer names are not financial in nature. The names of your vendors are not financial in nature. They are just mere database. Even your chart of account is not financial in nature. It's just a nomenclature. What makes it financial in nature is when money starts flowing into your chart of account. Then it becomes both data and a financial data at the same time. Okay, budgeting, keying in your budget is just data entry. But when you are now matching your budget, when you are now matching your budget with the actual, the budget will take a financial posture. Keying in the names of your stock or your inventories is data entry. But when the inventory starts moving up and down, when it starts moving up and down, then it becomes financial in nature. So everything you are doing under maintain is non-financial, is mere data entry. It is mere data entry. So we are going to do that right now. Um, so I'm going to open our case studies. So I'm going to open the case study so that we'll carry them along. So once again, thank you for understanding with me with this data thing, this internet. Okay, so you can see the case study. It says Auto Prime Motor Limited is a car dealership business dealing in new and fairly used vehicles. The business commenced operation with the following. So forget about the date. So we are going to. You can see that from the opening balance, you can see some of your ledgers. From the opening balance, you can see some of your ledgers. From the transactions for the month, you can also see your ledgers. Then payment, receipt, so other ledgers are still there. Okay, so let's go in. So I'm going to start creating the ledgers right now. So you go to maintain. So I want to be sure that the network is not affecting our activities. Good, 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 good. So maintain charts of account. Okay, so you can see the chart of account window. It's just like what you have in QuickBooks, but the difference is that Sage hits you like it's at a glance. Sage is just like at a glance view. You are seeing everything in your face. QuickBooks takes some level of processing. It's still at a glance, but it has more. It's more. It contains more details when you are setting up chart of account in QuickBooks. Now, the first column is the account ID, possibly the tag, the number you give to that account. And in a typical business, a business that is well arranged, a business that has the influence of management policy, you notice that even the IDs, the account ID must be coming from the policy of the business. You cannot just come in and start creating tax for the ledgers. It is what the company must approve. Sometimes they give that preference to auditors to create the numbers, the tags, numeric tags for the charts of accounts. So let's assume that our own is 0001. So we are dealing with cash at hand, and it is a cash book item. So I'm not changing it. It is a cash book item. So save and new because I'm creating many more. So 0002, we have that should be, let me see our bank. Mm, so let me see, we have GT, because a lot of people will be who are not in Nigeria will be watching this video. So I'm going to call it Global Bank. I'm going to use the name Global Bank. It is also a cash book item. So I'll save. Then you have capital, very important, 0003. Capital. I'm not following it in any order. Okay, I just want to get my charts in. Account type for capital is equity return earning. Now, this is account that balances the accounting equation, which is most times what we see in the balance sheet. You know, the balance sheet is where you play this accounting equation game where asset equal to liability or asset equal to liability plus capital. So that's the work of then you have 0004 inventory. And inventory is also inventory. The account type is also inventory because it is meant to produce reports. It is meant to produce reports for us. So save and new. Then the next is account 0005. We have account payable. Oh, why is it in small letter? I need to change this. Accounts payable. The account type for account payable is also account payable. Already the soft it appears under current liability, but the account type is also account payable, which belongs to the current liability of your balance sheet. So save 0005 6. Now the account type is in account receivable falls under current liability. Okay, good. Please, I'm making on to be sure. So I'll save. Now the question says all transactions are subject to 5% VAT. Okay, so I will save this 0007 VAT. Okay, so whatever it might be in your own country. Okay, so let me just call it uh, sales tax payable. Account type, remember it is a current asset. It is a current liability, sorry. It is a current liability. So I will take it to other current liability, then save 0008. So you have revenue. The account type of revenue, revenue belongs in the account segment, it falls under income. Okay, so save and new 0009. We have purchases or cost of sales, depending on the name you want to use. Let me just put in the other one, cost of sales. Then the account type is cost of sales. So that is where everything it costs you to bring in our goods to be resold goes to that account. So it is what is matched based on matching principle. Purchases or cost of sales are matched against revenue to give us the gross profit for the period. So you can see that everything we are doing in accounting is guided by accounting laws. And I keep emphasizing it. I keep emphasizing it. Any accountant who does not understand accounting principles, concepts, conventions, know how, when, and where to apply it is just like a lawyer who went to court and cannot argue his client case from the Constitution or from the earlier judgments. Any accountant who have not mastered the art of applying accounting laws where necessary and when needed to arrive at the expected answer is just like a lawyer who went to court to defend his client and he knows next to nothing about the Constitution and he knows next to nothing about the earlier judgments that relate to what brought him or to court with his client. And I keep emphasizing it. No matter the qualification, no matter chartered or non-chartered, everything we are doing in accounting is guided by law. Is guided by law. And it is those laws, those principles that will enable you to provide accurate report. Let me give you an example. Why do you people go to work? You're an accountant of your organization. Can you hear me, Mr. Henry? Can you hear me, Mr. Henry? Hello, Mr. Henry, can you hear me? Please give me an emoji. Just give me an emoji to show that you are with me. I know the internet is dealing with us, but we can achieve what we want to achieve today. Okay, like I said, why do people go to work? You're an accountant of a company. Why do you go to work? It's simple. There is a certain law in accounting that makes you go to work every day. There's a certain law that makes you go to work. And what is that law? The going concern is one of them. The going concern principle or concept is one of them. As long as your company will remain in operational existence for the foreseeable future, you continue to go to work as an accountant. You continue to post, you continue to generate reports, you continue to do everything needed for you to do as an accountant in that business. Simply because another example is business business entity. Another example is business entity law. So we all go to work in the name of a business. We all go to work. Imagine you coming to your office and the name of your company is no longer there. The office has been emptied, and you are hearing that the owner has packed everything to his house. What do? But as long as that name continues to ring, continues to do business, continues to do what is needed of it, you continue to go to work in the name of that business. So you can see that actually accounting laws controls you. It doesn't control only your paper. It controls your behavior. It controls your skills. Okay? It controls your actions. Accounting laws is meant to put you in a certain framework so that you can deliver perfection. That is the goal of accounting, of those laws. Now, if you bring it to the constitution of a country, if you go to a country and you don't understand their constitution and you don't obey it and you don't apply it, you will become an enemy within to that country, and that country will deal with you based on that same constitution. That's why when an accountant you bring a higher authority that will either straighten up the accountant or deal with the accountant based on the law of accounting. So we are sacking you because you have messed up this law, this law, this law, and it has given us a bad report, misinforming the management. So these are things, the revenue, I've created purchases. Let me do the others. So you have, we've created bank, we've created, then the next thing is salary, 0010. You have salary, expenses. At this stage, what I'm doing is the setup. I'm setting up the software the way it will be useful to me tomorrow, and when I will start posting transactions. Remember, I'm setting up the software. So we have 0011. So electricity bill, account type, expenses, save and new. I think then you have office rent, office rent, account type, expenses. You have fuel and transportation. Zero zero one four. You have office furniture. Office furniture. Account type, we have expenses. I think we are good to go. I think we've rolled in all the charts of account in this question. We've rolled in everything that is needed to make this question tick. All of them are rolled in. So let's look at how many ledgers do we have so far. So when you click on list, it tells you that we have created 14 ledgers. So you can see it here. You can see our ledgers. Everything is on $0 because no transaction has taken place. So all we are doing is to set up our business for now. No transaction is taking place. My target is that by 10, quarter past 10, we'll be done with this setup. We'll be done with our work for today. By 10, quarter past 10, we'll have taken care of the setup. Okay, please, Mr. Henry, you are like the course rep today. Please notify me once again if you are hearing me and the screen as well as seeing the screen. Okay, now having sorted out the ledger, the next thing is for us to create the names of the customers. Remember, we are entering all non-financial data. Okay, so I'll go back to maintain, click on customer slash prospect. So let me see what do the names we have as customers. So we have Royal Wheels. I'm going to use capital letter henceforth. Royal Wheels. You copy and paste. Then all customers are linked to the revenue account because it is through them that will make our revenue. So you go to sales info and go to GL sales account. So what I'm telling the system is that anytime I sell to this customer, please credit the revenue, whether paid or not. That's interpretation. So the next one is Quick Drive Ventures. Quick Drive. Sorry, forgive me for the name. Ventures. For the way I've modeled the name. So you also link to revenue. So save and new. I think that's the two customers we have. Yeah, that's the two customers we have. Then the next thing is to create the vendors. Remember, we have not started posting. I'm still setting up every information needed by the software to deliver a quality report and an accurate report for me. Okay, Mr. Henry, can you see my screen now? Sorry, let me reshare. Let me reshare it again. Mr. Henry, let me know if you can see my screen right now. Let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen now, Mr. Henry. Okay, great. You can see it now. Great. So I can move. So the next thing to create, the next data entry to do is entering the vendor's name. So I'll go to maintain and select vendors. So you have the names of the vendors. I have Speed Motors. Speed Motors. Now, Speed Motors, what is our relationship with Speed Motors? We make purchases from him. We purchase product from him to resell. In that regard, I'm going to link Speed Motors to purchases account. The interpretation is that anytime I purchase anything from Speed Motors, the purchases account will be debited with the value of that thing. Then the other leg can be account payable or cash or medium of or mode of payment. So save. The second one is Mega Autos. Mega Autos. Copy, paste, then link to purchases again. But also note this, when you have a vendor who provides services, let's say a vendor that provides rent for you, your landlord is your vendor, whether you like it or not, he provides rental services. So in that regard, when you put in the names of your facility manager or your landlord, as the case may be, then you come to expense account and link your facility manager to office rent. Every vendor must be linked to the account incurred in transacting with that vendor. Please note that. Okay, so I think we are done and dusted. So what is left is the name of the item we sell, we buy and resell. Okay, that's what is left. Okay, okay, I think we are good to go. So that's going to be the last work for the day. Remember, I told you on this day one, what we want to achieve is the setup. That's all we want to achieve. How to set up, how to bring in every non-financial information that the software needs to capture your posting and as well generate your report for you. That's what we are doing today. Now let's go to inventory. What are the products we are selling? So you go to maintain and select inventory items. Please, while the class is going on, please, if you have any question or anything that is bothering you, please don't fail to, chat us up. Don't fail to put it on the chat. Please, another thing is if you are joining us for the very first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to invite those who you want to also benefit from what we are doing. So thank you. If you are coming in for the first time, if you are joining us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. Thank you so much. Mr. Henry, confirm once again that you are also seeing my screen so that we can run the inventory and call it a day and prepare for the posting of transactions tomorrow. Please confirm, Mr. Henry Banda. If you are seeing my screen, please send me an emoji. Let me know. Let it be a different message from the one you've sent earlier. Please send me an emoji if you are seeing my screen and you can hear me clearly. Okay, let me confirm, then we'll run. Okay, good. Amazing. So let's create our inventory. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Okay. I hope people in Zambia, they are good. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's create our inventory, and that will be the last, that will be the icing on the cake for all this. And possibly the VAT. We'll do both of them and we'll call it a day. So, inventory items. So, what are the items we buy to resell? Number one, we have cars. We sell cars. Okay. Cars majorly. Okay, so we only have one item. We have just one item, and that is cars. Remember, the question centers on a car dealer. So there's no specification about the car. So I'll just use the name cars. We'll sell cars. Copy, paste. And cars are stock items. They are physical items. They are tangible. So for sell, cars. Okay. Now, what do we buy? How much do we buy the cars? If we buy at different prices, from here you can see that we purchased at different amount in that regard, and we also sold at different amount. So what I'm going to do, I will leave here open. I'm going to leave, this is where you key in the purchases price. Why this is where you key in the sales price. So because if you look at the question, we bought at different, when we are buying, we bought at different which happens in business. It's an experience we do have in business. You purchase fuel today, you come back tomorrow, they say it has added price. So that means that you are purchasing at different amount. Okay, so but the important thing is the linking. Now, anytime I'm buying and selling cars, how do I want the system to sort out both the gross profit and the overall profit and loss? So anytime I'm buying this item and selling it at the same time, them to record the cost of buying the item to cost of sales. Please note what I'm doing. This is it. Once you make this mistake here, it becomes a business for others. You notice that your report will be a total mess, and your mistake will become a business for those who understand how to do it properly. So that is that. So save, and anytime, yeah. Then the last thing on the menu is that the question says all transactions are subject to 7.5% VAT. Good. So I'm going to do that again. Maintain. You go back to maintain. Please, I want to be sure. The internet has threatened us, so I want to be sure that we are the remaining that are here. I carry them along. So let me stop sharing. Share. So, Mr. Banda, confirm again. Can you see my confirm again? Can you see my screen? Right. Confirm again, Mr. Banda. Can you see my screen? Opportunity to thank our my esteemed students and WhatsApp group members. YouTube has officially accepted us as their partner. Please help us to as wide as possible. Let me explain that their Zoho, no matter how they post, it will end up negative, showing negative. So the WhatsApp will go through. We'll be leaving how business select sales tax. So what is the tax agent? I don't know what it is in your country, but here it is Nigerian Revenue Service. Okay, Nigerian Revenue Service. So I'm going to create it as a vendor because they provide tax services. So I'm going to create them as a and close rate. So 7.5. Tax. Now it will return you back to where you started before. If you don't, if you are not vigilant, you keep creating. Please don't forget to ask your question. Please don't forget to ask your question, please. Okay. Excellent. So now I'm going to key in the opening balance. So let's end with the opening balance. How do you capture the opening balance for the period? From the question, how do you capture the opening balance for the period? Okay, it has captured all of the capital typographical error, but we are going to correct. So let's go. You go to tax. So to capture beginning balances, balance brought forward, or opening balance, it serves a lot of purpose. It for students. Sorry, in case the spelling is a mess. Being beginning balance for the period. Okay. So Then we have account payable. Account payable is a broad form that is on the credit side. You can see what is showing you that journal is also another plan. There must be equilibrium in the posting of transactions. The debit must always be equal to the credit. So what the software is telling you that the excess. So we'll bring the capital at 6.8. Everything balanced. You can call it journal pro one, but it depends on what your organization wants. So I will say, good. Let me see the implication. Financial statement. I want you to see the implication. Go to your balance sheet. Click OK. Do you see those figures here? Because majority of them are all balance sheet items. Look at them here in your balance sheet. Now let's look at them from the trial balance point of view. General ledger. Let's look at it from the trial balance. General ledger trial balance. Based on what we have now, look at your trial balance. Let's look at it from the general ledger, overall general ledger. You can see them, what you can call your T account. Here is three columnar account. So you can see what I said. This is just a tip. I just want us to end on high with this appetizer. So now imagine, okay, so we are going to end here today. I think we have done well for ourselves. So we are going to end here today. Tomorrow, we'll do the posting. So I want to thank you all that came out, to all of you that came out. So thank you so much. So tomorrow we will go into the posting proper. Okay. So I'm sure you go back and watch this video. Very interesting. Very interesting. But it is more interesting when you join the master class. And there will be no master class this month. All our videos are just fundamental. But next month, May, there will be double header masterclass training on both Sage 50 and QuickBooks. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for being part of what we are doing. But if you have a question, please drop your question. If you have any question, please let me know. I will quickly trash your question. Please, if you have a question, please let me know. Biko ele gị bịa bịa. Ị nọ nso dị a?